Hello, everybody. Manly is here, and welcome back to another hunt in the Hunter Call of the Wild. And today, we are in the Yukon Valley. We are on the more less snowy side, I guess you could say, of the valley, to where the trees are in a vibrant green and the grass and flower are in full bloom. And as you can see, we're going to be using our bow today to hunt. And this is going to be quite challenging as we have no other firearms on us. So patience will be needed. And to give you an idea of what exactly we could potentially run into, there are many wildlife that habitate in the Yukon Valley. One of them, which we have gotten before, is the caribou, and that is a very large animal. They are gregarious and migratory. They like to habitate in the tundra and boreal forest, as is the Yukon Valley. They have a very good sense of vision and an exceptionally keen sense of smell, alongside excellent hearing. So, this is a prey animal that has great senses, so not easy to sneak up on. They like to migrate in large herds, forming only smaller groups when grazing. They are most active throughout the day and night, with intermittent rest cycles between. And they require at least a Class 6 type of ammo. So that's just one of the many creatures we may come across. And what we want to be especially aware of is the grizzly bear. The North American brown bear, most commonly known as the grizzly bear, is a massive brown bear that can be found in mainland regions and the northern reaches of America and Canada. And it can weigh up to at least 680 kilograms. Now, we want to be very careful because these are extremely dangerous creatures. They're solitary but defensive. They like to be in the meadows, coastlines, and forested areas, all of which are found in the Yukon Valley. They have an excellent sense of smell and keen senses overall. They're typically isolated from each other, but we have found them in groups as well. They're most active during the day and night, but rest during midday. And they require at least a Class 8 ammo, so a very large type of ammo. And going down the line, we may also encounter the gray wolf, and these we have hunted previously. They are very aggressive, very territorial, and very social, as we'll often find them in packs. They like to live in the forested areas, so the Yukon Valley is especially known for those. They have a legendary sense of hearing and smell with excellent vision, so they might know we are here before we know of their presence. They like to be in organized structures and are gregarious. They live in coordinated packs with internal social structures as well, so a hierarchy. They're most active during the dawn and dusk, intermittently throughout the day, and they require at least a Class 6 ammo as well. But what else that we have to be especially afraid of is the plains bison. And these are huge creatures, some of my favorite animals. They stand up to almost 1,000 kilograms. They're calm, confident, but can be very aggressive when threatened. They like to be in the grasslands, the wetlands, shrublands, and sparse woods, all of which the Yukon Valley offers. They have poor eyesight, but an excellent sense of smell. Cows and young like to live in large herds, but the mature bulls typically live on their own or in smaller bachelor herds, most active during the morning and evening, and require a Class 9 ammunition. And what I would try to come home with today is the red fox. Now, these are native to the entire northern hemisphere and is one of the larger species of fox and characterized by the most typical but beautiful orange and red furs and their large fluffy tails as well. They're docile and skittish. They like to be in a mix of forest, open fields, and mountainous terrain. Again, the Yukon Valley has much of those. They have an excellent vision and very good sense of hearing, going to make it difficult to get the jump on them. And they're typically solitary, but most active during the dawn and dusk, and require only a meager Class 2 ammo. And that's just a little bit of the animals we will come across today, but not to forget the most important animal of all, Ajax, who is going to be accompanying us today on this hunt and is a very good boy. He will help us track down any sort of prey. So if we tag something, he'll help us find it. And today we're just going to be heading north to around this point of interest because I think that this lake may provide a great watering hole for the active red fox that may be around. And to empower us on our hunt today, we have quite the plethora of tools at our disposal. And most notably, our weapon of choice is going to be the Coter CB65 Orpheus, a versatile compound bow with a rather large draw weight. And the accuracy is not as great as other bows. However, it will still be very useful in our hunt today. Of course, our binoculars, our rangefinder. We will be taking the Fox Pro, but I'd rather use more traditional methods and use the Jackrabbit collar. And of course, the scent eliminator to try and rid us of our human scent ever so slightly, because the fox does have an excellent sense of smell. We will be taking a ground blind as well as a tree stand. And we are taking various types of ammo because there are various types of game out here. The 300 grain is suitable for our small game, such as the red fox, but we're bringing larger arrows as well, just in case we have targets of opportunity. So let's head north and see what we can find. And of course, it's always nice to appreciate the scenery we have as well, with the backdrop of the green hills against the white mountains. We do have a lookout tower just up ahead, but I don't think we'll need it because we want to get to our hunting spot sooner than later. And we do have a moose just up ahead, which has proven us trouble previously. And I think for now, let's equip our 420 broadhead arrows because that is a great in between I do want to use the smaller arrow if possible for the red fox because that will allow us a better integrity bonus if we do happen to come across it. Let's examine these tracks, and we do have a moose in the area as we previously heard, as well as a feed zone for the moose. But let's keep continuing north to that point of interest, because who knows what else we may find. Look at this. This is a beautiful lake. I think this would be a great place to just set up and relax for a while we wait for our red fox, and we have some harlequin duck that occupy the lake. And we did find some red fox tracks back there, which is great. We also have a rest zone for the Grant caribou. And this is a wonderful place. And what else do we have over here? Is this? And a rest zone for the moose as well. So some very large creatures enjoy to occupy this area. Between the moose and the caribou, we definitely have some options. And I think what we're going to do is, since we're here, we could set up this hunting structure, and we will set up our fox bro. Let's eliminate our scent, and of course deploy the fox bro, and we're going to do it in the direction of the forest. Let's find something for the red fox, and a distressed rabbit collar would be perfect. And we're going to make him stay and lay down as to not scare away any potential critters. And while we wait for our fox, we will also prepare for it. We'll get some of our small game point tracer arrows on and patiently observe. We have some duck circling the lake, looking for a great spot to land. And while we wait, let's also see what other game we can observe. And we have a slight snowfall coming down. We have a Grant caribou drinking just a couple 100 meters away. And we have some grizzly bear as well on the other side of the lake. And the snow has peppered the green landscape, turning it an ever so beautiful white. Some harlequin
ducks will stay here for the warmer months, then migrate out to the coast for winter. They're some of the smallest creatures you might hunt out here, but they thrive in Alaska's harshest weather. They tend to stick to flowing water, so look for them when you're close to the river.
And some of those tips may pop up infrequently. What else do we have? We have another grizzly bear, a female bear, who's drinking from the lake. And this lake hosts many different creatures. And our jackrabbit collar's going off at a good interval. And so we can see the snow slowly melting away, going from that bright white to a effervescent green. And let's see if we can see anything coming up to us as the sun rises, slowly turning to dawn and painting the Yukon Valley in great shades of pink and orange. And the range that Fox Pro is about 200 meters, so we should attract anything within a reasonably large distance. And I know it isn't the most pleasant sound, and so we'll pause it for now. And what we can do too is see if this is a little better. Again, not the greatest sound, very harsh, but it may do the job. And I don't see anything quite yet. That's all part of the hunt is patience. Again, we may get some other animals that cross our path, and we will just take those opportunities just in case we can't quite come back with something we want. That caribou's still calmly drinking out of the lake. A lone harlequin duck finding some tasty morsels to eat. And those bear still living happily among the caribou. Go ahead and turn our Fox Pro back on in the hopes that it may attract some red fox. We have a train track spanning a great length of the valley. And it's 0543. So those fox should be becoming a little bit more active. And we need them rather close too, as our bow range is only about 40 meters. And we have a snow starting to come down again. Painting the landscape white. And this may be advantageous to us as this might allow the fox to better stand out in its bright red coat. And they can be very sneaky, so we may not even be able to see them until they are right on us. And we have another caribou. What is this animal called? A moose making its mating call about 200 meters away. More wildlife approaching our area. And I'm hoping that this jackrabbit collar will certainly help. The snow really is coming down pretty heavy. And we're just going to be patient. That caribou still drinking. Let's pause this. You see something at the edge of the water there. Maybe just be some ducks. Yes, some ducks in a feed zone. I don't quite see any fox yet, but that's not to say that they aren't around or active. And what we can also do is add variations to our Fox Pro to see if we can attract something else as well in addition to the fox. But I don't want those other animals to scare away any potential fox that could be looming about. So we can add a second one for different types of stuff as well. And I think what we could try and get is a moose. Because we know that there are moose and caribou that both live there. And our bow does have a rangefinder equipped on it as well. This grizzly bear still active over there. But no other animals in the area. Save for some ducks. Nothing across the way, but some ducks again. We do have the mating call of a moose. And I was really hoping to see that red fur kind of stand out amongst the white grass, but that may not have been a dream realized. And the snowfall has stopped. Ajax is, I'm sure, enjoying the break. Caribou still drinking along with the grizzly bears. But I have yet to see any other creatures grace our path. Still have that female grizzly over there. But no fox. What I could do is... Oh, we do have something. We do have a male moose traveling. And since we have that, we can get our 540 grain available. No, my bow is not compatible with it. Okay. And what else do we... Very large female moose as well. A pack of them. And I think... Let's... I don't want to take a female because I would much rather come away with... We're going to accept that. Oh, but now my quest has it as harvest 3 female moose. Kind of... Oh, wow. A large herd of moose has graced our presence. This is fantastic. Unfortunately, no fox. But let's take a look at this moose. Okay. It's a class 3, class 1, class 1. And we also have a class 1. Oh, but look at that. That moose right there who poked out of the brush is a beautiful set of antlers. Let's see if we can get it close and take it down, because that is a wonderful target of opportunity. Let's make sure we have the right arrows on. Okay. And we do. Let's try and get it just a little bit closer. We just want to hit right between those two front legs. Rangefinder isn't particularly wanting to work. But it is at 40 meters away. But still no fox. And what I'm hoping for is that moose is to just creep up a little bit more. Kind of keeping an eye out for red fox that may... Okay. Not a great shot. And you can see the snow collecting on the fur of the moose. And it looks like the herd is traveling away. So what we'll try and do is take our shot on that metal moose and we hit it. But I don't know if it was enough to take it down. Let's see. And we'll let it relocate. All right, let's go see if that was enough to take it down. It was a little bit outside of our target range, but that's not to say it couldn't have been ineffective. And let's see this. Bleed rate is very low, but we have had bleed rates that were low prior. And we're just going to keep our Foxbow running as well. And see if Ajax can track that. We do have that grizzly bear aware of our presence. A rather large moose, too, that we were able to hit. And the snow has melted once again. I always like that. The changing of the weather here. I think it adds to a very dynamic environment. And we're just going to follow these tracks and blood patterns. Okay, we have a bear not too far away, so we'll have to be very careful. What do we have down there? We have a bear running away. Male grizzly bear, as well as a male Grant caribou. Let's see if we can't find our deer. Or, sorry, our moose. It looks like Ajax has a blood trail over there. Or maybe he's just leading me in circles. He very well may be that trickster. So we'll continue on. I don't know if I can trust you right now, boy. This is still bleeding. And that was a fox making a warning call. And what we can do is it's rather close. See if we can attract it to us. Because that caribou isn't, or sorry, that moose isn't going anywhere that we can't track. But certainly let me see if I can. I just had it. One of the more finicky parts of this. Okay. Let's try this tree. No. These trees should work. Okay. Let's see. Not the greatest line of sight. Let's try and attract that fox. Put our small game arrows on. We may have already scared it off, but it's still worth a wait. Or just using our jackrabbit collar to see if we can't attract it. And I'm hoping that these trees will provide us at least a little bit of cover. And nothing. And we'll just be a little bit more patient before we take off after that moose. Because who knows, maybe he might come wandering back this way. And no other sounds heard. Okay. I think we'll exit. We'll dismantle and pack up. And we'll go after that moose. I do see some moose up there. Potentially my moose. But I think the blood trail may have gone cold. And there's that fox again. An obviously very keen sense of smell. And I would like to get into some open brush. So we can use this. Because we know that fox are in the area. Have them lay down. Those fox are extremely elusive creatures. I'm kind of just looking and waiting to see if anything crosses our path. We were quite lucky with those moose, but I was not lucky with my shot. And there's Ajax just enjoying, basking in the sun. I think we'll move closer to the lake. Because at least we know with the lake, there are plenty of wildlife there. We do have a female grizzly bear right up ahead. What we're gonna do is we are going to put up our tree stand, because I think she'll leave us alone, it looks like. So long as we can find a suitable tree. Sometimes it's difficult to get in the right area. Okay, so we're able to do it on there. Let's see if this is going to be... Yeah, that is a rather obscured view. I'd like something a little bit more open. Let's see what over here looks like. This looks like a pretty good place as well. But no trees to put our tree stand. We do have a Grant caribou and a grizzly bear there. I think we might have to reset. And I only say that because, we are rather underprepared for any larger game. So if I can't take advantage of the position that I have, I'm gonna be quite disadvantaged. So we're gonna make our way back to the Fox Pro. And again, I know that I may not be the best hunter, but I am hoping that these videos are just good for you to relax to and kind of just have on in the background. Okay. Here's that watchtower from earlier. In that feed zone. So we're almost back to our Fox Pro. And I do like these orange shrubs here in the Yukon Valley. Again, it just adds to the uniqueness of this area. And you can hear our Fox Pro going off still in the back. But unsure in its success in getting any more creatures over here. I do see something running about in the back. Presumably a grizzly bear. And yeah, that was rather uneventful. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the correct shot off on that moose from earlier. But what we'll do now is, I know you guys have been on this hunt with me for quite a while. I'll pause it and I'll let you rest, and we'll come back when we get some potential prey. We do have a female moose coming up on us, and that may potentially be the only thing we'll walk away with. I do hear some fox activity over there, but that area is just much too open to be able to sneak up on anything, and I don't think that moose is buying our Fox Pro. Let's see how far she is away, though. I don't think our range finder is quite there, but we can pick out our other range finder. She's outside of our range. Let's see if we can be a little bit patient. So we don't know if she'll bite or not. And it doesn't look like she is. She's given off quite a few warning calls. nothing to suggest that she's running away. And still, no fox either. Which is quite surprising because I feel as if on other hunts that I've had, I've been much more successful in crossing paths with the fox than not. Let's let's see if turning off our Fox Pro will have any effect, because I don't know if you hear it. But the chittering of foxes is very high, just up there. And I do see that moose resting. $60 meters away. What we can try and do is we'll do two things. We'll try and sneak up on it. And if we can't do that, we'll relocate our Fox Pro. But those are very loud fox sounds. And that's not coming from my Fox Pro either. I don't know if I'm being misled. Or there's ducks. Some sound like ducks. Was that it? I did, in fact, get it. Oh, and that's a duck. Oh, wow. We did snag a harlequin duck, a female. Not what we came here for, but great nonetheless that we were able to bow hunt a duck. I could have sworn those were the chitterings of a fox and not a duck. But that must be why they call them harlequin ducks, because the joke is on me. I'm sure that moose got up and left. But we can always try and see. don't see that moose anymore. So it must have moved on to greener pastures. Um, Unfortunately, I think we may have to call this hunt a wash. I know it hasn't been the first time this has happened to us, and it definitely won't be the last. We did come out with a duck, which is something. It's not the fox that we wanted, nor was it that large bull moose, but we do have something to show for our efforts. I do appreciate you accompanying me on this hunt. It does mean a lot to have you here, as it does to Ajax as well. I hope our next hunt will be a little bit more successful. But in any case, I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you in the next hunt.